Step one, stay alive. Step two, live hard. And you can't really do one without the other. I mean, my story, I was kind of just born into skiing, right? My mom worked up at the Alta Lodge, which meant when the weekend came, that's where I would go. My old man was a ski photographer who shot a lot of my heroes, right? So from a really early age, you know, the seed was planted of heroism in skiing, and that was the dream, was to make it in skiing. But really, for me, it wasn't until high school. Skiing started to become more important. I was just full gas, going to all these comps with my buddies, just having the time of our lives. Like, there weren't sponsorships, there weren't many expectations except whatever you had put on yourself. And there was a very defining moment for me. I rolled into Crystal Mountain, which was the Junior World Championship. I click in, I drop in, I ended up winning the contest. And that set this new precedent for me and my skiing. And the next year, the next comp I went to Revelstoke. I ended up winning this big belt buckle, the Sick Bird. You either wanted first place or you wanted the belt buckle. After Revelstoke, I started to get more play in the industry. I had a couple covers of magazines at that point. I was shooting all the time, and all of a sudden this went from being, I'm skiing with my buddies, to I'm trying to stack clips. And we had our little film collective, the Wasatch Collective. One of the major turning points was when I started hanging out with Will Wisman. He kind of took me under his wing, and I begged him all season long that I want to come to Alaska. I want to come to Alaska. I'll spend everything I have. I'm coming. So I crashed with him, and they had me open up this big run that's a big famous line in Haines called Light Meter. You know, it went perfectly for me. And that kind of just opened the floodgates. The opportunity was there, and now it's just up to me to seize that opportunity. 2017, we went and did the Peak of Ill Repute. You know, that brothel Peak of Ill Repute trip was the pinnacle of what I would call the golden age of my ski career. I took the momentum of that brothel trip. I went up to Alaska and it was looking grim. Things we had skied in the past were dirt. The door is off the heli. None of us had made a single turn yet. About third turn in, left footer, high-sided. I ended up blowing out my knee, ACL, MCL, meniscus. My body was real banged up, and I had to wait for a couple months before I could get operated on. I ended up having this unbelievable recovery. Ended up having the best fall climbing season I've maybe ever had, and that led right into winter, and I slowly inched back into skiing and went to Denali with three of my best buddies, Zach Halverson, Henry Gates, and Mason Bowes. And I'd been skiing with Mason and climbing with Mason a ton over the past couple years. And he'd become one of my closest friends. And he and I were tent mates for 21 days up there. And yeah, I came home and I moved in with him. Later that fall, October 10th, all of a sudden I had all these missed calls and some weird messages, ones that you see and your heart sinks. And there had been an accident and Mason had been killed. Rockfall in a spot that I'd been climbing since I was 18. That just kind of changed everything. Like, you're literally sitting at your table with your best homie, and then you are looking him in the eye, but he's not looking at you. Moving forward from that, I wasn't really excited to ski. I just was underperforming time and time again, and I didn't even care. I think over the course of those few years, I just realized how sick of the camera I was. I was climbing and I was living in the dirt, sleeping in my car, and just trying hard on these rock climbs. And it was weird how I felt more connected to that, even though that was the source of a lot of this pain and struggle. And it was like I had to battle it out though, right? Go to war with the rock and just stick on it, and you learn to live with it and just keep kind of pushing and trying to find that stoke and keep skiing. And the next winter, that was the record year. Everyone was skiing, all the lines were in, all these lines I'd never imagined skiing. We were skiing on a regular basis, and I wasn't filming though. I was just getting out with my buddies every day, getting out by myself every day, and just skiing. After the big season, we had poor structure in our snowpack, and all I had been doing was skiing south or skiing in the ski area. I decided to poke into some north facing, dropped in, I hit a thin spot, broke out a huge, hard, deep slab avalanche, 1 to 2 meters deep. I would have looked at this avalanche and called it unsurvivable. I know Mason was looking out for me on that one. A month went by, I got back on snow, and I would stand there about to drop in, and I would just imagine the slope spider webbing apart. I'd see that, and then I would drop in. And that was happening to me for 6 weeks probably. It's weird to have to just flip a switch, going from being totally in fear and just stressed about the mountains. All right, I'm turning this off now because I have to go do my job. And so now, every day, here's the question: is the juice worth the squeeze? What does my ski career look like now? What's my relationship with skiing? What's the next step? What's the next phase? What does this look like to me as a whole? And this year, I just wanted to set out to do what I was excited about. Let's reshape this, and let's shape it in a way that we're all having fun. It's not just about footage. So I went on a trip up north of Utah and went skiing. Conditions were marginal at best, but vibes were high, and high vibe, bad snow, I'll take any day.
Rappelling is sweet, but skiing is even sweeter. Whew. Ooh, that was beautiful. That was sick. Oh my God. Jesus. Not worthy.
about where Homeboy skied? Yeah, bro.
Sick.
What a sick run.
Whoa.
I just want to go skiing and share skiing with people who feel similar. And there's more than just skiing. There's more than just climbing. And there's depth in all these other realms of life. And it doesn't mean I can't ski. It doesn't mean I can't climb. It doesn't mean I can't love these things and still bleed passion for them. But step one, stay alive. Step two, live hard. And you can't really do one without the other.